All right, this morning we're here for the presentation of our murals. As you would have seen when you came to school the beginning term, they were all there and well presented for you. Beautiful drawings they are, and it isn't it? So what we're going to do now, we just want you to remain quietly for just a moment as the minister and her guests, her entourage, arrives. So during the period, just stand quietly. We know that outside is a little warm and so on, but all right. So we'll kindly wait patiently. They will be arriving in less than a minute. So please stop the talking and wait quietly for their arrival. Thank you. Talking, please.
Okay, good morning, school. Good morning. Excellent. I will now invite Mrs. Denise Charles, the Education Officer responsible for arts at the Ministry of Education, Science, Technology, and Innovation, to commence today's proceedings.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, students. Kindly stand at attention for the national anthem. To lead us in a word of prayer.
Morning, students. Let's all bow our heads. Loving God, we give you thanks, Lord, for the opportunity where we can come together to celebrate this wonderful moment. We know, dear Lord, that you've asked us in your word to acknowledge you in all our ways. And this time, Lord, we bring before you this great opportunity where we can celebrate the works of your children. as we conceptualize these ideas, Lord, as we embrace them. May we as staff, students, and well-wishers here at Grantley Adams be able to mobilize these concepts for greater upliftment in our educational institution. Grant us all, Lord, these blessings. In Jesus' precious name we pray.
Thank you very much, Mr. Lewis. I invite the platform party to sit at this time. Our Deputy Chief Education Officer, Mrs. Joy Adamson, will come at this time and give the official welcome.
Thank you, Dr. Charles. Honorable Santia Bradshaw, Minister of Education, Technological and Vocational Training, Mrs. Jeanette Phillips, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Education, Technological and Vocational Training, Dr. Roderick Rudder, Deputy Chief Education Officer Planning, and other officials from the Ministry of Education, Mr. George Griffith, Chairman of the Board of Management here at the Grantley Adams Memorial School, Acting Principal Major Andrew Skeet, representative from Horace Paints, teachers, students, specially invited guests, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. This school mural project is an initiative of the Ministry of Education, Technological and Vocational Training. It is designed to provide opportunities for us to celebrate the importance of the creative arts. It affirms our commitment towards promoting artistic endeavor and to working collaboratively with our schools and corporate partners as we seek to make schools places that are more conducive to learning, work, and play. This mural project could not have been accomplished without the kind assistance of all of our partners who will be suitably acknowledged in this brief program this morning. Today's unveiling represents our second official event for Education Month 2019, and as such, it affirms the ministry's recognition of all of the factors which contribute to improving school, the ethos, and student achievement. Studies have shown that teachers and students benefit significantly from learning and working in beautiful and comfortable environments. The painting of murals, while focused on the external walls, can be viewed as a positive step towards improving the ethos here at your school, because we would want to make sure that you are working in a comfortable and beautiful environment. And this will hopefully provide the inspiration for thoughtful decoration and design of classroom walls and other learning spaces, which can involve both the students and the teachers working collaboratively. On behalf of the Ministry of Education, Technological and Vocational Training, it therefore gives me great pleasure to welcome all of you to this special occasion, where we will symbolically present 4 beautifully designed and painted murals to you, the students and staff of the Grantley Adams Memorial School. Members of the Board of Management, business partners, artists, and all those persons who would have contributed to this, we want to thank you. Especially invited guests, members of the alumni, and of course, staff and students, welcome. Today's event represents our first in a series of mural unveilings for Education Month 2019, and we have no doubt that it will set a high standard for the remaining 3 unveilings to follow. Ladies and gentlemen, Madam Chair.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Adamson. And students, you may stand at ease. And may I say this morning that you look very beautiful in your uniforms. Give yourselves a round of applause, students. Now, this entire proceeding this morning is one where we are seeking to promote the arts, leverage the arts, talk about how much they are important to our own national development as well as our personal development. And I'm so pleased this morning to have one of your own, one of your students, who's going to come and favor us with a solo at this time. Her name is Chelsea DePisa Bino. And let me say here that we have coming up for Education Month some lunchtime concerts where we're going to be featuring singers. So perhaps we hope to see Chelsea at one of those. So let's give her a warm welcome as she comes. I'm sorry, it's Shalisa.
There is power
That was a wonderful rendition by Shalicia. I hope I got it right. Chalisa. Chalisa. That was a wonderful rendition. That's no easy song to sing, so she did very, very well. Let's give her another round of applause. We know that there's much talent coming from this school, and even while we're unveiling or presenting murals to you that would have been done by other artists, we want to encourage you as young artists, as creatives on your own, to tap into your talents and explore and do well as she has done. At this time, we invite the chairman of the board of management, Mr. George Griffith, to share his remarks.
Thank you, Madam Master of Ceremonies, Minister of Education, Technological and Vocational Training, the Honorable Samtia Bradshaw, Parliamentary Secretary in the Ministry, Senator Dr. Rommel Springer, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Education, members of the Board of Management, Deputy Chief Education Officer, and other officials of the Ministry, Major Andrew Skeet, Principal, representatives of Harris Bates, Mr. Lowland Dean, teachers, students, specially invited guests, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, a good morning to all. We have come this morning to celebrate the revival of this great institution which bears the name of one of our nation's most illustrious sons. I speak of none other than the late Right Excellent Sir Grantley Herbert Adams. We who are here, we who are in any way associated with this educational institution, have a duty to ensure that it regains its place of prominence among the leading secondary schools of this Barbados, our island home. We must not deny the mighty challenge which confronts us at this time as a consequence of years of underestimation, neglect, and underfinancing. Today, however, we can take comfort in the knowledge that a bright light is beaming through the darkness which once enveloped this campus. Our teachers, management team, ancillary staff, students, well-wishers, and people of goodwill who never lost faith in the potential or value of this place are to be profoundly commended for keeping the spirit of this institution alive. Like the phoenix of classical mythology, this Grantley Adams Memorial Secondary School, I predict, will rise from the ashes with renewed vigor and vitality to better serve the children of our beloved country by exposing them to the most appropriate and comprehensive level of education possible. Madam Minister, you and your ministry officials can be assured that our GAMS team will leave no stone unturned in our effort to play our part in the transformation of this school. Our principal and teaching staff are eminently qualified, passionately committed, and possess that dogged determination so necessary for the success of the mission ahead. As the saying goes, give us the tools and we will accomplish the task. Today's unveiling will expose what can only be described as a high quality of inspirational art, which has the potential of deepening and broadening the knowledge and understanding of those who feast their eyes upon it. I believe that I speak for all of us when I pledge that we are not daunted by the battle to which we are now enjoined as we commit ourselves to the continued growth and development of this educational institution. Even as I close with the words of one of my favorite writers who speaks to the treasure found in the murals we are about to disrobe in broad daylight this morning. And I quote, "Knowledge and understanding are life's faithful companions who will never prove untrue to you. For knowledge is your crown, and understanding your staff. And when they are with you, you can possess no greater treasures. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you, and best wishes to all of us.
Thank you very much, Mr. Griffith. I particularly like the image he used of the school as a phoenix rising from the ashes. And I trust it is one that each of you as students can internalize. And it conveys the idea of rising beyond your challenges, rising beyond any self-imposed limitations you might have had, which means how you might have seen yourself, or even rising above the limitations that others may have placed upon you. You can do it. You can achieve. You are excellence embodied. We continue with a word from our partners. This initiative could not have been possible without the kind assistance and sponsorship of Harris Paints Barbados Limited. As a consequence, we've invited this morning one of their representatives, Mr. Colin Dean, whom we would have worked with right from the get-go, and we found him most cooperative, and we're going to invite him at this time to share his remarks. Mr. Dean.
Good morning to all. Thank you, Master Ceremony. Protocols for the meeting already established. I will therefore go into a very brief comment. I am delighted to represent the very committed team at Harris Paints and to thank the Honorable Sanchia Bradshaw and her team for providing yet another opportunity to partner with the Ministry of Education, Technological and Vocational Training. This project is another example of what is possible when inspired policy, multifaceted and versatile products, combined with highly creative talent, in this case, very fine artists, to highlight motivational themes like the ones so finely detailed on these walls. We at Harris Paints thank you again and encourage the students to take good care and to allow these murals to influence positive and productive lives here and beyond this school. I thank you for the opportunity.
Okay, we are aware that some of you may be a bit uncomfortable in the sun, so I'm going to ask those up front to just step forward on this side, just step forward a bit more so that we can give some of the others at the back a chance to experience some of the shade. We're soon going to be through because the program is not very long. Just do it quietly. And maybe on this side, some of the others can curve around a bit to get out of the sun. All right? Thank you. Thank you for doing that. Thank you. As soon as you're quiet, we're going to continue. I love the name of this next group. The group is called Strumming to Success. It could easily be the name of one of the paintings when we look at this particular one behind the minister. This group is called Strumming to Success. I thought it was such an appropriate name for the event. And this is a group from the Grantley Adams Memorial School, and we invite them at this time to favor us with an item. Could I invite the technical to please lower the mics? Thank you. We thank Strumming to Success for that wonderful rendition of Amazing Grace. And even though it is a relatively small group, I think that that idea of strumming to success is something that each of you as students can embrace. The idea of heading towards success in whatever you do. Okay, students, I'm going to invite you to be quiet, as at this time we are going to invite the Honorable Santia Bradshaw, our Minister of Education, Technological and Vocational Training, to share her remarks.
Yes, I'm a little taller. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you very much. Good morning to all. Protocol has been established, and I'm mindful that I am addressing students this morning, so I think as minister I have the ability to do away with protocol. I want to wish you a pleasant good morning and to thank you all for being so patient for our program for the unveiling of this mural project. As I sat here this morning, I must tell you that my heart is particularly pleased because those of you who know me well know that I have a background in the creative industries. I've represented many artists, certainly in the performing arts, not so much in the visual arts, but maybe there's still space and opportunity for that at some point in time. But I am particularly pleased because while I hold the post of Minister of Education, I feel it extremely important to have the opportunity to be able to incorporate creative arts into everything that I do in education and to be able to allow the creative arts to be certainly a major pillar, not just a focus on academics, but certainly on creative arts, which I know that many of you, and I can see many of the young people in the audience when particularly the first song was being played, singing along and also tapping your feet, and it certainly warmed my heart to know that this school certainly has within it so much potential and so much growth for us to be able to develop the creative potential of each of you. Our theme for Education Month for 2019, Technology, the Bedrock of Innovation and Positive Development, provides the opportunity for the Ministry of Education to continue to plan and to discuss the myriad of ways in which our education system can be shaped and reconfigured to meet the shifting demands of the 21st century. While we may immediately think of the traditional science-related fields or disciplines when we use words like technology and innovation in our theme, it is critical for us to also embrace the arts in their myriad forms as important technologies or methods for promoting critical and innovative thinking in all of our students. Similar to technology, the visual arts, in fact, is today recognized as a leading tool for redefining and reimagining the world in which we live. I am sure if we were to ask any of the artists involved in creating these beautiful murals painted on your school to describe the process, we would all get a glimpse of the planning, innovative thinking, and creativity which goes into producing a work of art. Artists, too, are innovators. They are creatives and they are problem solvers who use their craft to teach us about ourselves, to teach us about our history and about our culture, while raising our awareness about many of today's current issues. As a nation, we remain indebted to all of our artists. Our government, through the Ministry of Education, Technological and Vocational Training, remains committed to providing the opportunities and the infrastructure for the arts to be developed in our schools and among our youth, so that they may be seen as viable vehicles for social and economic development. We remain committed to leveraging the arts in our schools so that our students, parents, and all stakeholders can grow to appreciate their value and relevance, not only as tools for beautification and enhancement and entertainment, but as methods to promote discipline and also to provide motivation. For several years, murals have become an important feature of the Barbados landscape, with several of our leading artists calling for more murals to be placed in public spaces and in places of prominence. At the Ministry of Education in 2017, we brought some leadership to this renewed call for the appreciation of art by involving our students and teachers in the design and painting of a prominent mural on our main administrative block at Constitution Road, and some of the students across the schools would have participated in that project. While the ministry remains committed to the beautification of the spaces where teaching and learning take place, we cannot do it all on our own. And we therefore welcome the opportunities provided through partnerships with the private sector entities like Harris Paints, and through partnerships with our cultural ambassadors and the practitioners, which enable the execution of this particular project. When I was approached several months ago by one of the artists, Mr. Kwame Hunt, we had a discussion on WhatsApp about the possibilities in relation to the involvement of himself and other artists who are just as good as him, I must say. I won't say better, but I think just as good as he is. Coming together to team up with the Ministry of Education and really answering the call that I had made several months before to be able to engage not just corporate entities, but people who wanted to help us to give back and to be a part of the process of being part of the transformation that we want to see. And Kwame reached out to me with a vision to be able to assist us across several of the schools as part of a pilot project, to work with us and to be able to pull together his team to, as you can see here, start to beautify several schools. I consider it an immediate marriage, certainly with my background and certainly with his, and immediately we engaged the other officials within the Ministry of Education. And I want to say publicly today a special thank you to Mr. Kwame Hunt, who is on my immediate left in the black shirt. Please raise your hands so everybody can see you. Because he was once, like many of you, a student with ideas and a vision, and the government of Barbados back then, certainly the former Minister of Education, Mia Amor-Motley, who is now the leader of this country, would have certainly recognized his talent and given him the opportunities as well to pursue his career in the visual arts. And therefore, I have the distinguished pleasure to be able to allow him not just to build on what he has been able to learn through education from the Prime Minister, but certainly to be able to help to impart now on many of you, to be able to inspire you to be able to achieve not just what you see here, but certainly to do more in relation to this beautiful country. The ministry would have conveyed that we wanted to ensure we had positive and powerful messages being conveyed to our students and certainly throughout the community. And Harris Paints would have been engaged to be able to start discussions with us around how we could be able to have the types of paints that were necessary and the proportion of paint that was necessary to be able to come on board. I consider it the icing on the cake because they came on board without any hesitation. And what you see here is the result of a partnership of ministry, corporate entity, and individuals coming together to improve the school plants across this country. This year, we have therefore targeted for murals 2 secondary schools, of which Grantley Adams is one primary and 1 special school. Not only will students and teachers enjoy more serene and beautified spaces as aspects of their school's physical environments are enhanced, but these murals can easily be used as tools for teaching, for reflection and inspiration. And as you heard Ms. Charles reference just now, the song that was done earlier, certainly there is a visual representation of that as well already on the building. This morning, it brings me great pleasure, therefore, on behalf of the Ministry of Education, Technological and Vocational Training, to officially present these 4 murals to the Grantley Adams Memorial School. This school has the honor of being the first to be unveiled in this series for 2019. These murals, which have been designed and painted not only by Kwame Hunt, but by Sherry Nichols. Sherry, if you can just let them see who you are. Mr. Don Small, who also would have worked with us on Mr. Small is in front of me so that you can see. And Nikolai Charles as well. Let them see you. These 4 individuals would have come together, and it is evident that the hard work that they have been doing all throughout the summer while you were all on vacation has certainly paid off. And I'm sure that the uniqueness and beauty that would have met you as students on your first day of school has been greatly appreciated, certainly also by the teachers as well and the wider community. I trust that you, the students of this school, have already begun to discuss the meaning of the visual representations and perhaps are already identifying with a number of the positive messages they're on. And I want to encourage all students of the Grantley Adams Memorial School to continue to enjoy the murals, to treat them with respect, love, and care, and to own them as an important part of your environment. I hope that certainly with the assistance of your arts teacher, you are also able to approach certainly the principal and the board of management with a view, no doubt, to being able to work with the visual artists who have painted these beautiful murals, perhaps to be able to have other spaces within the school community in the near future also decorated by the hands of our students as well, working in partnership with these individuals. These murals belong to you, and it is important that we all appreciate the time, the effort, and the resources that went into creating these powerful symbols of our enjoyment. And we at the ministry believe wholeheartedly that we can entrust them to you for safekeeping. We also hope that this series of murals will inspire the artists amongst you to use your artistic talents and your creative abilities to spread positive messages as we hope to see you designing and creating future murals for your schools. This positive use of your creativity and your talents can only augur well for our nation's present and future development. So students, I really implore on you to run down the arts teacher, the principal, and any member of the board of management to ensure that the next set of murals that are painted on these walls are done by the students. I've already spoken to members of the music department as well, because I would like to see both the music and certainly the other visual arts represented in the classrooms. I want to see that this institution is brought to life by the hands of the students in particular, and I think that this is just the beginning of a wonderful journey and a wonderful partnership between the Grantley Adams Memorial School, this team of artists, and certainly Corporate Barbados. And again, I want to thank you and hope that you can enjoy and be respectful of the environment. We will be ensuring that not just in relation to the visual presentations, but we know that there are other things within this institution that have to be improved. But we are working closely with the Board of Management and the principal to ensure that we are able to address all of the concerns that you may have. So again, I want to thank you, and I hope that you will continue to look after these beautiful surroundings. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Minister Bradshaw, for your comments. And it is at this time that we are going to make that symbolic presentation of the murals, because they're actually unveiled already. You can see them, and you would have been enjoying them for the last few weeks. I'm going to invite at this time the artists as well as the two head boys and the two head girls. So I'm going to invite the artists Kwame Hunt, Sherry Nichols, Don Small. Nikolai Charles is not here. He's on duty for cricket in Australia. So I've invited a member of his family to come and receive and present on his behalf. I am going to present, I'm going to invite the students to come. Kristen Riley and Job Sargent, the head boys. Latoya Ford and Shante Brathwaite, the head girls. All right, could just stand back a bit? Yes. Artists, come this way. Come up this way. Kwame first, then Sherry, then Don, then Alexa. In that one, you can just form a line going that way. All right, so y'all will present to, I will present to the minister, and the minister will present to us. So the artists are going to present to the minister, and then the minister will hand over to the students. At the same time, I'm going to read a brief description of what the mural represents. So Kwame's mural is called Take Note. This mural depicts a connection between the beautiful St. Joseph landscape and music, which students love. The musical instruments shown in the piece merge seamlessly to harmonize with the flora and fauna of the St. Joseph landscape, as found, for example, in the Andromeda Gardens. This sense of harmony and of atmosphere are extended through the mural's depiction of the Bathsheba Rock and seascape, as well as through the waves of the Soup Bowl, also found in St. Joseph. Through this mural, students are invited to take note of the beauty in music and the beauty in their surrounding landscape. So Minister will present this to head boy Christian Riley. Next up, we have artist Sherry Nichols. Sherry's mural is called Reading and Growing. This mural depicts the idea that reading, knowledge, brings growth and development to the individual. Words which represent a critical part of knowledge become a new reality and a surreal world as depicted by the image of the butterfly and the miniature children sitting on the flowers. The idea that we learn most from nature and absorb more when we are surrounded by it is also depicted. The sunflowers represent growing upwards, free from limitations and negativity. The monarch butterflies are transporters or teachers of this knowledge. This mural illustrates the bond between nature and children as an ever-living, ever-learning experience that stands the test of time. So Sherry, you can present to the minister, and the minister will present this mural to Job Sargent. Third, we have Don Small. His mural is called The Vision. This mural depicts young boys in particular looking into their future and observing themselves as muralists. The mural is both present and future because the muralists in the vision are creating a mural of themselves as young boys from the past, watching their vision, which looks towards the future. The mural, from this perspective, conveys a sense of continuation. Very often, artists are asked to use their craft to depict and highlight almost any subject under the sun. This mural deliberately focuses on art as a subject to highlight the importance of art and to encourage the young, budding male artist. So Dawn will present this to the minister, and the minister will present this to head girl Latoya Ford. Finally, we have Reach for the Stars. This was done by Nikolai Charles. This mural is an illustrative piece depicting various silhouettes as students of the Grantley Adams Memorial School. Its general theme is one of achievement, and so the students are involved in various sporting activities and are striving towards excellence. In this mural, sports are used both literally and symbolically to depict the idea of goal setting and the need to reach out and strive towards attaining goals. The mural's dark background, which depicts space with the stars, planets, and galaxies, was deliberately chosen to suggest that there are no limits to what students can achieve with great effort. It also shows that sports can be used as an avenue to excel and to reach towards the stars, which are symbolic of greatness. So at this time, the presentation is going to be made to the minister by Alexei Charles, and she will then present this to Shante Brathwaite. Thank you, Minister. Thank you, head girls and head boys. You have now received the murals on behalf of the entire school body, both students and staff. Give the whole process a round of applause, all those students who participated. We give our artists a hearty round of applause for their hard work. Certainly I was up here even during my own summer holiday to see them working tirelessly both day and night. A lot went into having these murals erected, and we're really appreciative of their efforts. At this time, you all get to participate as we bring our session to a close very quickly. We're going to have the school song, and after this, your principal, Major Andrew Skeet, will come and move the vote of thanks. I'm hoping someone who knows the school song, a teacher perhaps, can come and lead in the school song as the students sing. Or a student, sorry, come.
Students, please look to the back of your exercise book and you follow the words.
Okay, settle down. Thank you very much. Now, I have before me 6 pages of thank you. So, we can do a little bargaining here now. I am either going to read these 6 pages, or you, the students of Grantley Adams Memorial School, will thank all of who have contributed to today's event. When I call their name, or if I call their office, you would then repeat, thank you. And if I said minister, you would say, thank you, Madam Minister. So we want to do that, or you want me to read? You want me to read? Pardon me? No who? No who? I cannot hear you. All right, so let's start then. You ready? Are we ready? Are we ready? Yes, sir. I cannot hear you. One more time. Thank you very much for first and second formers. We're trying hard to get the third, the fourths, and the fifths to do it. So let's start. We're going to say thank you, Madam Minister. Thank you, Madam Minister. Thank you, Madam Permanent Secretary. Thank you, Madam Permanent Secretary. Oh, it's a long word. Permanent Secretary. Let me hear you. Permanent Secretary. Right. Thank you, Parliamentary Secretary. Thank you. Thank you. Deputy Chief Education Officer. Oh Lord, they said chief. I said deputy chief. What did I say? Chiefs. Chiefs. Thank you. Good. We want to thank our chairman. Thank you, chairman. Excellent. And we need to thank our artists. We are there. Thank you, artists. Thank you, artists. And we need to thank all the children who participated. Just come forward. The cadets, the strummers, the singers, and the teachers who would have supported them. Come quickly. 1, 2, 3. Thank you, students. Thank you, students. Thank you, students. Right, and a very important group who were responsible for ensuring that the place was nice and tidy, or ancillary and administrative staff. So let's do that slowly. Let's do that slowly. Ancillary, administrative, staff. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Good. Now we just have one more person to thank. And I'm going to have to read this. No, sorry. I need to thank also year heads, form teachers, and other teachers who would have been assisting in supervising. So say thank you, year heads. Thank you, year heads. Especially you. Thank you, year heads. Thank you, year heads. Thank you, form teachers. Thank you, other teachers. Excellent. 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 Right. So, I am just about done. But I'm going to read this one paragraph, please. Just this one paragraph. And I want you to be quiet. Let's be quiet. Let's be quiet. Shh. An important paragraph. There's one person who I have not thanked yet. And if you're not quiet enough, you're not going to hear. So this paragraph reads, permit me for just 1 minute and 1 minute only to offer sincerest words of appreciation to Mr. Victor Lewis, industrial arts teacher who will be spending his last day with us today. Thank you, Mr. Lewis. Thank you, Mr. Lewis. Thank you, Mr. Lewis. Right. Let me say that there is going to be another time and another place when we will speak a little bit more wax eloquently. But I couldn't let today go without saying thank you, sir. All right, so thank you, Mr. Lewis. Everybody, one more time. Thank you, Mr. Lewis. Thank you, Mr. Lewis. And just as a note, you always leave the best for last. One, the Table Foundation, just so you would know, was responsible for the guitars that we have, that the children are using today. So thank you, Table Foundation. Thank you, Table. I cannot hear you. Thank you, Table Foundation. And if we don't have any paint, we won't have any murals. So you have to say thank you, thank you, thank you to Harris Paints. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Harris Paints. Right. So you were a good student body. I'm actually genuinely happy. And I'm competing here. I'm competing on my left. Your right, and on my right, your left. But I'm generally happy with your behavior today. Please get accustomed to standing like this for long periods, especially in our nice environment, because it's going to happen again from time to time. But thank you again, Madam Minister. To whom much is given, much is expected. And just to reiterate what the Minister said, we're going to produce. Thank you very much. Take care and have a good afternoon. And when the platform party leaves, I know the deputy will come and instruct as to how the rest of the day is supposed to go. Right? I think you may need a little breather almost immediately after this session. So
Thank you, Major Skeet. You have been a wonderful audience, students, specially invited guests, ministry officials. Thank you so much. Please enjoy your murals. Thank you. I hand over to your deputy principal at this time, who will give you instructions.
Okay, listen carefully, please. Listen. Thank you. We'll all go back to our form. Don't move yet. We're going in particular order. And you will have the rest of the time as form period, because you know you were a little tired and so on. So we let the fourth years file off first in an orderly manner, fourth years.